second half of this review practice, I'm going to start at number 43. Okay, 43, what kind of triangle do we have? Isosceles, because we know these two sides are the same. Since we know those two sides are the same, what else can we assume? The bottom two angles are the same. So if one's 35, the other is also 35. So now that I know two angles, how can I find the third one? Yep, 35 plus 35 equals 70. And then take 180 minus 70 to get 110. Good. 45, I know they're labeled weird. On the test, they will not be labeled weird. Okay, but this is just saying angle 2 equals 8x minus 3. Again, what kind of triangle do we have here? Isosceles, so we can assume what? These two angles are the same. So what's an equation I can set up since they are equal? 8x minus 3 equal to 45. So solving from here, add 3. 8x equals 48. What'd you get for x? X equals 6. Good. And 47, what kind of triangle do I have here? How do you know that? All angles are the same. So since all angles are the same, what do I know about the sides? Those are also all the same. So if this side's 10, this side's also 10. Yes. Flip to the next page. Number 49. What kind of triangle do I have on number 49? How do I know that? Right, if two angles are the same, what else do I know? Right, these two sides are the same. So since they're the same, how can I set it up to solve for x? Yep, x plus 19 equals 11. On this one, you're going to get a negative x value. Is it okay to get negative x values? Yes. Okay, just make sure when you plug it in, if you have to, you should get a positive answer out of it. Okay. One question. In number 48, what are all of my angles going to equal? Since they're all going to be 60. So if you have an equilateral triangle, you know right away that all those angles are going to be 60 degrees. Okay, keep that in mind. All right. This stuff should be fresh in your brains because we just took a test over this information. On number 52, we're talking about angle bisectors. So it tells you that this line, PZ, is an angle bisector. What does that mean? What does this line do? Splits this angle in half, so angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent to each other. In the directions, it says the measure of angle 1 is 10x minus 4. And then it says this whole thing right here is 19x minus 2. What do I know angle 2 is then? Yep, since 1 and 2 are the same, we know 2 is also 10x minus 4. So what's an equation I can set up here? Yep, adding up these two, it's just like that segment one we talked about the first day. 10x minus 4 plus 10x minus 4 equals 19x minus 2. So then I solve here. A lot of you skip this step and you just combine them right away to get 20x minus 8. That's totally fine. From here, you solve. I'm going to subtract 19x. So I get x minus 8 equals negative 2. What do you end up getting for x? 6. X equals 6. Yes. 54. Again, we should be familiar with these. 54, it tells us that UJ, this whole thing right here, is 27. It wants us to find UC, this one right here. What do I know about UC? It's 2/3. Okay. So it wants us to find UC. I know UC is 2/3 of what? 27, right? Since 27 is the whole thing. So right here, all I'm doing is I'm multiplying those two terms together. Okay. Or you can think, how many times does 3 go into 27? 9. So then 9 times 2 is 18. Yep. If it wanted us to find this other half right here, or other part, how would I find that? Yep, I would subtract them, or if you like to think the fractions better, you can do the same thing, but with 1/3. 57. In the directions, it told us that we have a median. What does a median do? Right, it splits that side in half. Does a median split an angle in half? No. Okay, so all this is telling us is that these two sides are equal to each other. So in the directions, it says CB, this whole thing here is equal to x minus 1. And then it says GB is negative 11 plus 2x. What else do I know about that picture? Yep, CG is also negative 11 plus 2x. So, very similar to one we did on number 52. How do I set this up? Yep, adding up these two and then equaling it to the whole thing. Again, a lot of you skipped this step and you probably just went to here right away. Totally fine, it's the same thing. So I'm going to subtract x. So we have negative 22 plus 3x equals negative 1. Add 22. 3x equals 21. What'd you get for x? Should be a positive 7. What would you do if you wanted to know the length of CB? You plug it in, right? Yep. In the page, I'm going to look at number 59. Okay, it's asking, can these three side lengths make a triangle? How do I figure that out? Two shortest sides, but we have two sides that are the exact same. Right, they're the same thing, right? So I'm just going to pick 7 and 1. So 7 plus 1 is 8. Is that greater than 7? Yes. So yes, this is a triangle. If it was equal to, would that be a triangle? No. Okay. Number 61, it says order the sides of the triangle from shortest to longest. How do I do that when I'm only given the angles? Right, the angle relates to the side across from it. So what's my smallest angle? 35. So what's the side across from 35? VU. So VU is my shortest side. What's my next angle? 65. Across from that is WV or VW. Doesn't matter the order you write those in. These right here. Could I also write WV? Yes, it does not matter the way you write those. And then 80 is across from WU. Okay. 63, it's just the opposite. So writing it from smallest to largest, but this time we're writing the angles. What's my smallest side? 16. What angle's across from 16? Angle N. What's across from 17? Angle L. And across from 21 is angle M. Good. On your test next week, I'm not necessarily going to ask you to perform a transformation. Okay? A lot of it is going to be just looking at something and telling me what transformation happened. Okay? So I'm not going to ask you to perform a 90-degree rotation. Okay? So you won't have to use those formulas or anything. You just have to understand what's happening in the picture. Okay? On number 64, it says it's a reflection across y equals 2. What does a reflection do to the image? It flips it over a line. Okay, so where is the line y equals 2? Yep, 2 on the y-axis, and then it's going through that point here. How do I perform reflections? Yep. Correct. So W is 1 away, so we're going to go 1 away on the other side. How far away is X? 3, so I need to go 3 on the opposite side. And then Y is 1, so I need to go 1 on the other side. What do these little symbols mean that I drew there? That's the new image, right? Yep, that's the prime symbols. 65, dilation. What does that mean? What's happening?
It's getting bigger or smaller.
It's getting bigger or it's getting smaller. On 65, is it going to get bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
It's going to get bigger. Okay, so with these, I look at each coordinate. What is my coordinate of E? 0, 1. What am I doing to each coordinate? Multiplying it by whatever that scale factor is. So I'm going to multiply by 2. So E prime is what? 0, 2. Yep, think I'm distributing this 2 to both the x and the y. So my new E coordinate is at 0, 2. So then I do the same thing for D and F. What is my coordinate for D? Negative 1, 0. Multiply by 2. I get what for D prime? Negative 2, 0. And then coordinates for F. We'll get 2, 0. Yep, that's okay. And then multiply by 2. What do we get for F prime? 4, 0. Okay. And then once you have all of them plotted, all you got to do is just connect those. Okay. All right, number 66 is talking about a translation. What is happening when a translation is being performed? Right, it's just moving in whatever direction it's telling you to. So 5 units left, 4 units up. I'm just going to start with F. I'm going to go 5 to the left, and then 4 up. Then I'm going to do that same thing for the other 2 points. Okay, again, with translations, nothing's happening to the image. It's just moving across the graph. It's not flipping, it's not turning or anything. Okay. Just a quick refresher. How would I write in math terms 5 units to the left? I need something else with it. I need the x minus 5. And then how would I write 4 units up? It would be y plus 4. Yep. Good. Rotation, 180. What is happening to the original coordinate of xy when you're doing 180 degrees? You just switch the sides, right? So it turns into negative x, negative y. So on coordinate u, what is my u coordinate? 0, negative 2. What does my u prime coordinate turn into? Right. Do I want to flip them? No, they stay in the same spot. All that's happening is the signs are switching. Okay, so 0, 2 is my u prime. What about v? 0, negative 4, and then it turns into 0, 4. And then t right now, it's 3, negative 3. What does it turn into? Negative 3, 3. Good. So these last 4 are more familiar to what your final will look like. Okay, so it's more just looking at a picture, understanding what happened. Biggest thing with these is you have to start at which one?
The one on top, like the pre-image.
Right, you have to start with the pre-image, and that's the one without the symbols. Okay, so on this one, which of the 4 transformations is happening?
Reflection.
It is a reflection. What do I need to know about the reflection? How do I describe it? Across from, what did you guys say? It is y equals 2. Yep, right here, if I flip it over that line, it would be reflected over that point that it goes through, y equals 2. 69, what transformation's happening? How do you know this one's a dilation? It's just getting bigger. Biggest thing with these, again, making sure you're starting at the original. How do I figure out the scale factor? Yep, you take the new image divided by the old image. So does it matter what coordinate I pick?
No.
It does not matter. I'm just going to pick f. So what are my coordinates of f prime? 4, 4. What are my coordinates of f? 2, 2. So if I divide those, 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. So it's a dilation of 2. Or if you said enlargement by 2, that's good too. Okay, last two. 70. What's happening on number 70?
Translation.
How do you know this one's a translation?
It's just a sliding track.
All it's doing is just moving across the graph. Translation by how much, or what's happening?
Translation
3 units up, or up 3. How would I write that in this form? Hint, hint, this is on your IXL. How would I write it in this form? Did anything happen to the x? Nope, so I just keep the original x, and then how do I write the y? Y plus 3. Yep. Again, making sure you're starting at that original, because if I started here, would I get this same answer? No, it would be the opposite. Okay, so just make sure you are starting at the original image. Okay, and the last one, number 71. What transformation's happening? Rotation, because it is turning. Rotation, what do I need with the rotation? Degree and the direction. How many quadrants is it moving? It's only moving 1, so that's 90 degrees. And then what direction are we going? Clockwise.